Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever watched a massive, beautiful building go up, you know that long before a single brick is laid, there is a master architectural blueprint. It guides literally every decision. Well, in the world of the Primary Years program, your program of inquiry, or POI, is exactly that. It's the ultimate blueprint for your school's curriculum. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how schools develop, review, and communicate this vital framework to create a truly transformative experience for the learners.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Our roadmap for today is pretty straightforward. First, we'll look at what a POI actually is and the features of a truly good one. From there, we'll get into developing your POI, mapping out the review process, and finally, how to engage your entire learning community.
So let's kick things off with Section 1. What is a POI? This is our architectural foundation.
At its core, a program of inquiry is a whole school long-term plan. It's designed to carefully map out transdisciplinary themes and units of inquiry right across all your grade and year levels. And why does this matter so much? Well, without it, you risk disjointed, fragmented learning. By charting out the entire educational experience in one cohesive plan, you're making it possible for students to actually build vital connections across subjects and ultimately across their real world. It's the roadmap that guarantees learning is broad, conceptual, and deeply connected. Moving right along to Section 2, features of a good POI, looking beyond just topics.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real philosophical shift that a great POI brings to a school. We're looking at the contrast between reproductive inquiries and creative inquiries. Instead of those reproductive inquiries that just have kids memorizing and repeating topics, a truly dynamic POI champions creative inquiries. We're talking about sweeping themes, enduring understandings, and actively investigating the world. It's about helping learners transcend basic knowledge so they can actually start generating their own theories.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing how we can use one of the 6 transdisciplinary themes as a conceptual anchor. Take sharing the planet, for example. The opening statement perfectly captures the essence of the theme, focusing on how human and natural worlds are completely interdependent. And then, those bullet points below it, the descriptors, they break it down into rights, responsibilities, coexistence, and peaceful futures. These aren't just extra filler words. They are deliberately designed to unpack and deepen the theme. They open up much richer curriculum connections, which allows educators to link concepts across subjects in some incredibly meaningful ways. Plus, we have to remember that a well-designed POI isn't just a checklist of subjects to rush through. It's all about a balanced mix. Sure, it integrates subject-specific knowledge and concepts, but it also weaves in approaches to learning and the IB learner profile attributes. Basically, your blueprint is intentionally designing moments for learners to develop curiosity, critical thinking, empathy, and international mindedness right alongside their math and literacy skills. It's really about building up the whole learner. Which brings us to Section 3, developing your POI through collaborative co-construction. Look, developing a program of inquiry is definitely not a solo job done behind closed doors. It is a whole school effort. Generally, the PYP coordinator steps up to facilitate the journey. Often you'll have a core group of teachers who draft out a basic skeleton program. But then, the real magic happens. The entire staff comes together to review, refine, and flesh out the complete POI. This collaboration is absolutely non-negotiable. Why? Because the POI has to reflect the unique geography, specific needs, and the local context of your exact community. By building it together, teachers can merge their different subject methods and perspectives into a much stronger unified framework. Now, here's a number you need to keep in mind. 4. That is the absolute minimum required number of annual units of inquiry for early years learners, so those aged 3 to 6. And of those 4 minimum units, 2 are strictly required by the framework: who we are and how we express ourselves. Now, if your learners are in the early years for 2 or more years, every single one of the 6 transdisciplinary themes needs to be explored at least once over that time frame. It's so vital for educators to know exactly which themes must be prioritized so our youngest learners get the best possible foundation. All right, on to Section 4, the review process and maintaining the blueprint. So the crucial point is understanding exactly what we're looking for during this annual review. Basically, we're checking for 2 specific types of alignment: vertical and horizontal balance. Vertical balance checks the continuity within a single theme across different years. So, making sure a theme like how the world works gets progressively more substantial and interconnected as a student goes from year 1 all the way up to year 5. Horizontal balance, on the flip side, checks the integration across a single grade level, making sure all subjects are beautifully balanced at that specific age point. This isn't just administrative paperwork. This balancing act directly impacts the coherence of a child's entire learning journey. But wait, there's more than just horizontal and vertical balance. Your review process should actually look at the POI through several fresh lenses. You're actively hunting for opportunities to boost learner agency. You should be asking, how can we better bake our local context into these units? Or are we leaving enough room for responsive, flexible planning? And are we truly maximizing learning through play and inquiry? Oh, and another brilliant strategy here is peer review. Have teachers look at the POI from the perspective of a totally different grade level or subject area. It's amazing how quickly they can spot omissions or redundancies that the original creators just completely missed.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, engaging the learning community and opening the doors. I absolutely love this little story from the source material. Basically, a school was facing their end-of-year whole staff review of the POI, but they just ran out of meeting time. And let's be real, at the end of the school year, everyone is running on empty anyway. But instead of just skipping it, they got creative. They printed the current POI and plastered it up in a highly visible communal area of the school. They asked teachers to grab sticky notes and just add comments and reflections as they walked by. But here's the best part. Because it was out in the open, it invited incredible organic feedback from students and parents too. They literally turned a scheduling headache into this massive win for community engagement and transparency. How cool is that? Which brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with this one provocative question. How will your community shape your POI this year? Are you going to keep it hidden away in a binder, or will you use it to communicate your shared vision? Open it up. Invite your students, parents, and local community to help co-construct an even stronger blueprint for learning. The architecture of your curriculum is right in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me today to build a better understanding of the program of inquiry. Now get out there and start mapping.